Okay, so we're back with the second line of defense, the second video. So I've got to kind of talk quickly. Sorry. So one of the other parts of the second line of defense in the inflammatory response is this release of phagocytes. And phagocytes, if you remember, is these are cells that come and ingest invaders. They ingest old, dead, worn out tissue. They ingest anything that needs to be cleaned up from the area. So this is one of the things that is attracted by those chemicals that were released. Okay, so take a good look at that in your presentation. Okay, here's just another view of what's going on. All right, remember enzymes that have the ASE ending. Here it looks like they have a specific function. See if you can kind of read through that and figure that out. If you can't, message me a question. Let's move into the chemicals. So we talked about the cells and some of the chemicals. Here are some more chemicals, the antimicrobial proteins. These are really cool because these proteins attack things, and chemicals also can hinder the reproduction of the invaders, of the pathogens that have come into the body. The two we're going to focus on right now are called complement proteins and interferon. So, this really cool group of proteins called complement proteins, it's this group of 20 proteins or so. And these are activated when this immune response has begun, the second line of attack. And so, what they do is they target the pathogen, and it's called activating complement. And it's basically that kind of happens when that other flow of chemicals has been released by the tissues in the injured area or the attacked area. So once complement is activated, then what it ends up doing is attaching itself to the invader and forming this kind of a little complex. And it's called an MAC, a membrane attack complex. So it attaches itself to the invader and ends up opening up pores so that basically the invader here becomes full of openings. And you know, when a cell membrane gets breached, that cell does not survive. And so basically, what's happening is we are attacking invader cells by this group of proteins that attaches to its membrane and actually opens it up and bursts it. Pretty cool stuff. When we talk about viruses, we have a chemical called interferon, which is really cool because what it does is it binds to healthy cells and interferes with a virus being able to attach to a healthy cell, because that's how viruses act. And that's one of the things that COVID does too, is it attaches to your healthy cells and basically takes over the machinery and makes more copies of itself with your cell machinery. So interferon comes in and prevents that from happening. So that's really cool. We're almost to the end of the second line of defense, guys. Fever, also known as pyrexia. Keep that term in mind. You'll see it in your medical careers, okay? This is that abnormally high temperature. What happens is normally the hypothalamus sets the thermostat of the body at a certain place, about 98.6. When these chemicals that are released by different responses in the body, those chemicals make their way to the hypothalamus, and the chemicals are called pyrogens that have been secreted by those macrophage cells. So when these pyrogens reset the hypothalamus, then the body ramps up the temperature. These temperatures are really cool because they inhibit the release of iron and zinc from the liver and the spleen. And actually, bacteria need that iron and that zinc to stay alive and to multiply. So if we can cut off their source of nourishment by this fever, by this high temperature, then we can keep them from overtaking the body by multiplying. So fever also is really cool because it increases the speed of healing in tissues because of that warmth, the attracted blood flow there. That means we have a lot more things, materials in the area to bring the healing, to bring the repair, that kind of thing. So fever can be a really good thing. Okay. All right, guys. Tomorrow we are headed to the adaptive immune response. Okay. Have a great day.